Hello everyone, it's Mr. Bletcher here, and I have got quite the video for you today. Because today, with it being World Book Day this week, I wanted to talk about me as a reader. And I have a guest. Seatbelts on, I've got my lunch for work. Last thing, driving hat on. It's important when you have the driving hat on, keeps the sun out of our eyes in the morning sun. What I want to talk about is traveling to work. I'm reading through audiobooks. So as I drive to work, I like to listen to audiobooks. I like to listen to podcasts to keep me up to date on maybe news and stories and things like that, and non-fiction stories. Like I say, I really enjoy listening to people's life stories. So on my drive to work, although I'm keeping my eye on the traffic and making sure I'm really safe with that, I'm also listening to more stories and listening to more reading. The next thing I want to talk about is sports, because I absolutely love sports. Now, whenever there's a major tournament coming up, whether that be football, tennis, the Olympics, I like to be well read on that subject. So, for example, I made sure I picked up a copy of the FIFA World Cup Qatar official guide, because I wanted to know all about the teams involved and what players to look out for. It's not just books that I really enjoy, it's also magazines, okay? So I really enjoy boxing, I really like watching the fights, I think they're absolutely fantastic and they're really entertaining on a Saturday night. So before, I like to read up in a magazine, find out what fights and what boxing matches are coming up, where I can find them and where I can watch them. As part of my job, I really like to let the children know about what books I think they're going to enjoy, especially if they're quite regional stories, things that really mean something to me. And the one we've been reading recently in class over the last term or so is this one, Meet Me by the Steelmen. It's all about the statues that are at Meadow Hall and how they come to life. Now, I won't reveal too much of the story, but reading this, I really enjoyed the ending. And again, because it's something about where I live and where I'm close to, it really hit home. And the great thing about stories like this, nice short ones, is that sometimes the author, if you look them up, there'll be another one. And this is a sequel, not a prequel. A sequel is the story that comes after. Now, this one is about a story called Forged in Steel, and it's about the statue that's near the City Hall in Sheffield, about the women of steel who helped build all sorts during the World War II effort. Back onto sport. As a lot of you know, I'm a huge football fan. I love Sheffield Wednesday, up the Owls. Now, before the game, I like to get into the ground quite early because I like to buy myself a match day programme. And in the match day programme, you'll find out a bit about the team. You'll find out about recent matches, how they've performed, who's playing really well. But the thing I really like to enjoy reading is what the manager thinks about the upcoming team, what he thinks will be tricky, what he thinks we do really well as a team. And I also like to find out about what Barry Bannon says in the programme and how he thinks the team are performing and what their goals are for the next few games. It really whets my appetite for the game, makes me up for the game. Now, just before I head to bed at night, I know Carlos is the same as me. He likes to just relax, okay? It's difficult to get to sleep straight away. So one of the best things I find to relax is reading. And I've normally got a book on the go before I get to bed. And it's so relaxing that sometimes, I'll be honest, I've been reading and I find myself dozing and gone. And then a couple of minutes later, I wake up and there's a book just there. I'm like, oh yeah, right, pop the bookmark in, time to go to bed. Now, that's not because I find the book boring, anything but. It's that I find it so relaxing, a really nice way to chill out. It's something I really enjoy doing. And at the moment, there's been plenty of books I've been reading. One of them is about Noel Fitzpatrick. Now, he's known as a super vet. He's got a wonderful TV series. And as you know, from my friend over here, I'm quite the animal lover. I love animals. I think they're amazing. And I love reading about what Noel does to look after them and uses amazing technology to keep them healthy, keep them thriving and doing their best. And there's some wonderful stories in here. Finally, I want to talk about a place that's really special. And I've been reading for quite some time now, but I remember getting a book, reading it, really enjoying it, and think, right, what can I read next? But books can be expensive, okay? It's hard to keep buying and buying and buying. You've read them, and once they're read, you've already spent your money. And then I reminded myself, Mr. Bletcher, there's the library. So what I did, I went down the hill to my local library and I was astounded about the amount of amazing books there were. And as you can see, I like books about real life. Okay, I really enjoy stories about people's lives, people who have lived extraordinary lives and how they're different to me and what it must be like in their shoes. I've got one from a man called Jason Fox, and this is something that's really interested me. He's on a TV show called SAS Who Dares Wins, and he's been in the Special Forces. Now, I've read a story, well, not a story, I read a book from one of his colleagues called Ant Middleton that was about his time in the forces, and it was amazing the things they got up to. So this one, as it's a library book, is completely free. I've got 6 weeks to read it, because that's how long you get when you rent a book out. And then if I don't finish it in time, I can always renew. And that won't cost me anything. That's what makes libraries really great, is that it doesn't cost anything, but you just need to remember to take it back when you're done with it. And then I can choose something else. So now you know a little bit more about me as a reader and why I find reading so important for the children, but also for myself, because you can see it everywhere in my day. Now, what I'd like to do, I'd like to find out a little bit about your reading, where you're reading at home or in school and what you're reading. So feel free to comment on this video, or you could even make your own video talking about your reading and who you are as a reader. I'll see you next time.
You've been a handsome boy. You are a handsome boy. Yeah, nice handsome boy.